Alright, Tower of God Season 2 dropped, the first episode, and at first I wasn't really into it. It kind of felt like I was watching a different anime, but after like 10 minutes, it got better and it felt like Tower of God. And the animation is pretty cool, it's not too crazy or too bad, but towards the end it did get way better. And it's pretty cool that we finally get the show back, seeing some of the characters, but I'll say the first episode was good. It took a little bit for me to like it, but eventually I did. And for those who watched it, how do you feel about it? I just watched the second episode of Tower of God Season 2 and I liked it. And I think I might have to rewatch Season 1 because I kind of forgot some of the families and the organizations. But for this episode, we got to see more of the other characters. And obviously Bam is the strongest one. And it kind of looks like he don't trust nobody. He's not trying to make no friends or whatever. But the way they're doing the show so far is pretty good. And it looks like the next episode, we're going to get more action. And hopefully the show keeps doing good. Alright, Tower of God Season 2 Episode 3. We finally got to see more of Bam's powers, and he's looking pretty strong, but not compared to the Ranker because he just stopped him. But this episode was pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is that it feels that it's going by too quick, and I kinda wish Bam would be friends or at least be cool with the other characters, but so far Tower of God is 3 for 3 in my opinion. Alright, episode 4, someone got clapped, it was kinda fucked up, the other guy spared him, so you gotta respect that. But there was some good things that happened, people passed, we got a smile, and I felt like the episode was pretty good. But there were some people saying that the episode wasn't that good, and in the manhwa it was better. And I've been starting to notice that people are not really liking Season 2, and I kinda get it. There's a whole bunch of new characters that are not the same ones that we were expecting. But we gotta remember, it's only 4 episodes in, so anything could change. But I still got my faith in Tower of God. But how do you feel about the season so far? Okay, Tower of God Season 2 Episode 5. This is probably my favorite episode so far. We finally got to see some old characters, and also that people now know Rachel was the one that pushed Bam, and Khun knows everything. And I gotta be honest, there was some parts in this episode where things were looking kinda funny, but I can deal with it. And there was a funny Dragon Ball Z reference in there. Tower of God Season 2 Episode 6. It was another good episode, and we now know why Bam is going so hard and doing the things he's doing. He doesn't want his friends to die, and that's the reason he became a FUG member. And I don't know why he's still defending Rachel. Like, come on bro. But the anime feels like it's finally getting to the good parts, and things are starting to get way more exciting. And it looks like Bam's about to fight a One Piece character. But anyways, this episode was pretty good. Tower of God Season 2 Episode 7. The last one ended on Bam about to fight, and he was about to fight, but that little girl went in the way. He saved her, but got clapped in the process. He was out for a couple days, and now they're trying to get him replaced because being with him is pretty dangerous, but they don't really care, so they stay with him. And now they're trying to have Bam find his friends. This episode, nothing really crazy happened, but it was okay. Alright, Tower of God Season 2 Episode 8, and I feel like this episode was okay. It was kind of funny.
Come back to me,
And now they got like some chat GPT bot in there, but it ends up actually being a girl. But towards the end, Khun asked if Bam was still alive. The bot said he was alive, so now he looks surprised. So I'm assuming he's gonna look for him. And that was probably the most important part of this episode. And I want to talk about the animation. I thought it was getting better, but it's really not. And I've been seeing other people saying the same thing. I just hope it improves. Alright, Tower of God Season 2 Episode 9. My review. I'll say it was like an alright episode. We just got more backstory on some of the characters, and Bam smiled. And I hope Bam and Khun meet up soon. Pretty much everything that happened this episode, well, the most important things. And I've been seeing comments of people saying it's been going kind of slow, and it does feel like that, but I'm gonna let the show do its thing for now. Alright, Tower of God Season 2 Episode 10. My review. And I feel like this episode was a good one. We had like 2 different fight scenes. The animation looked kind of good, but then it looked kind of bad in some shots. And it looks like we're finally getting close to Bam and Khun meeting after so much time. And this episode felt kind of short, so that's when you know it's good. But yeah, now we gotta wait to see what's gonna happen next. Tower of God Season 2 Episode 11 was pretty good. Like it's been getting better and better little by little. And Bam and Khun finally met. after so much time. Even though it wasn't how I imagined, it was still pretty cool. And Bam's fight scenes were pretty good. The animation wasn't looking too bad, so at least they're improving. And we had Rachel being Rachel. It is what it is, and it finally feels like the anime is getting to a point where things are starting to get better. And I could be wrong, the next episode could be trash, but so far I'm liking it. Tower of God Season 2 Episode 12. Alright, that guy that got stabbed up last episode, he's still alive. He just kind of fucked up. And Bam has Khun's teammates, and Khun has Bam's teammates. And they're both getting ready for the workshop battle. And they finally show that crocodile dude. He was pretty funny in the first season. And the next episode is gonna be the last one, I think. And hopefully they end it on a banger. Alright, Tower of God Season 2 Episode 13. This episode, was kind of cool. We finally got to see some old characters and some new ones. And basically all the teams are getting ready for the workshop battle. I still don't really know how shit's gonna go down. Like, is Bam gonna kill his old team? Or like, are they gonna try to kill Bam? Like, right now it's pretty interesting. So I'm pretty entertained at this point. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like for this episode, the animation was pretty good. Like, it felt consistent. It didn't feel like how it felt the other episodes. I could be tripping, but I think I'm starting to like the animation. Tower of God Season 2 Episode 14 was good. And I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but the animation looks like it's finally getting better. It looks way more cleaner than before. But this episode was good. I like how we're seeing more of the other characters now, finally. And also Bam this episode was like on a side quest helping some dude out. And while doing that, Bam's gonna meet one of his old teammates that thinks he's dead. And I wonder how she's gonna react. But since it was a cliffhanger, we gotta wait next episode. And so far I feel like this show is still doing pretty good. Okay, Tower of God Season 2 Episode 15. And I thought she was gonna recognize Bam at first, but she didn't. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a while until anybody recognizes Bam or knows it's him. But this episode is pretty good with the action. There was a lot of different fights. And these last couple episodes been building up the workshop battle. So I just want to see how it plays out already. And I've been enjoying this arc way more than the last one. And I can tell when I like something when I get mad about the cliffhangers. Alright, my review on Tower of God Season 2 Episode 16. And I gotta say, there was only one character I didn't like, and it was Rachel. And I'm also starting to dislike that one little girl that's trying to make people into puppets. She was kind of pissing me off this episode. And one thing I noticed is that we get to see Bam's eyes way more now, which is a good thing. And I also like the colors of the powers and that fight scene Bam had when he was just boxing. So they really have been improving. And slowly people are starting to realize that it's Bam. So it kind of feels like we're getting to the point where they actually meet up with him. Okay, my review on Tower of God Season 2 Episode 17. And this episode was more just talking and just getting more information on like certain situations. And I finally got to see one of my favorite characters, but I don't really know why he's small. And it looks like him and Khun are gonna get Bam the next episode. And one thing I did like about this episode is how people look at Bam kind of like the hero, and they just really want him to win. Alright, my review on Tower of God Season 2 Episode 18. And they finally got the prince and that little girl from the other weird little girl that was trying to make him into puppets. And there's like two new characters that seem pretty strong. The guy with the mask and that one with the beanie. And the one with the beanie, for some reason I feel like he might know Bam, because the last scene it showed he was waiting for him in the room. And I could be wrong, and more people are finding out that Vile is actually Bam. And pretty much everybody in the battle either wants to capture him to see who he is, wants to kill him, or wants to bring him back on the team. But this episode was pretty chill. Okay, my review on Tower of God Season 2 Episode 19. And this episode probably had like the best fight scene against Ran and the lizard girl. The animation was pretty good, the different shots, the music, the sound effects. And Tower of God really had been upping the quality, but then the next scene will be something like this. Then it would just make you forget that you just saw a good scene. But they really have been improving, and I still think the plot is entertaining and it's good. And I'm still enjoying the show, and I really like how it's going. Okay, Tower of God Season 2 Episode 20 review. A lot of shit happened this episode. Rack finally seen Bam. Bam's still going on a date, and he looked pretty clean in this scene too. Also, we learn more about them making people into like weapons, and the reason for Bam is to activate the throne. And now Bam's getting choked out by Beta, and I'm pretty sure Bam's gonna get out of it and fight him next episode. And things are getting way more interesting and kind of complicated, but I'm entertained. Okay, I'm gonna combine episode 21 and 22 of Tower of God Season 2. So far, Bam has been captured and they're trying to make him into a weapon. And the rest of the people that didn't know he was alive now know he is alive and are trying to save him. And finally, Bam's original friends are slowly coming back together. And for episode 22, if you've seen it, then you know what happened. A lot happened. Someone was in disguise. Bam escaped by himself. He acquired the throne, and his friends are still trying to save him because now he has Beta and Mad Dog after him. And towards the end of this episode, I just had like a bad feeling, and I just hope he doesn't die. And Bam saw everything, so I know Bam about to go crazy. Okay, episode 23 of Tower of God season 2. My little review on it. First things first, Wang Nam, or however you pronounce his name, doesn't look like he's gonna die, so that's a good thing. Beta and Bam finally fought, and Bam won the fight. I honestly thought it was gonna be a little bit longer, but it was still cool. The animation for it actually looked pretty good. But the way this episode ended, it kind of looks like Bam's gonna try to make Beta his friend or try to change his ways. So hopefully he does, and this was a good episode. Okay, Tower of God, Season 2, Episode 24. First things first, Bam, Khun, Rack, they finally reunited after so much time. So it was good to see that. And so now they have to escape. But before that, Bam's other friends were captured. So they ended up splitting up into teams and trying to get him back. And the fight scenes for that look pretty good. And the plot's getting more deeper on like who's doing what. And Tower of God has like 2 episodes left, I think. So let's see how it ends up. Okay, Tower of God, Season 2, Episode 25. At first, I thought this was the final episode, but I think there's like 2 more. And this episode, to be honest, I was a little confused, so I'm probably gonna rewatch this again. But the guy with the glasses was trying to save Emily, but he couldn't, and learn more about what they're actually trying to do with her. And the last episode, everybody was fighting, trying to save Bam's friends, and they did. But Bam, Rack, and Khun were stuck in the cave, and were about to die because of the lava. And Khun and Rack were kind of safe because they're on the platform, but you know Bam always gotta fall for some reason. But when he was falling, he was getting flashbacks, and the scene was pretty good. But this time when he opened his eyes, all his friends were there to save him, and he smiled, and the episode ended. So it was a pretty good scene.